Sponsor is Two Cut Butcher Knives.
Hello everybody. Hello my fingers also. I would like to explain you today why not to invest money in Israel. I am Jewish. I used to be army soldier as most of the Israeli people. I am loyal to Israel, of course. And this video is very important because the deceive of the Israeli state. I will explain you why not to make business here unless you are buying, for an example, a high-tech company. But do not make business activity in Israel since Israel is a deceive for the business people. What happened in Israel is very simple. First of all, this is my book. I wrote it Hebrew version and English version. If you would like to contribute money for translations to many more languages, you are welcome. Okay, this is my book, Armageddon and the Beast, the protocol of the adjudicators of Zion. Okay, introduction, Israeli legal system as a crime organization. Yesterday, I had a conversation with two American ladies that their husbands work in one of the high-tech companies in Israel. So they were interested in Bibi Netanyahu and why the Arabs attack the Jews and the political situation. Now, I explained them the matter, what is going on regarding the political situation in Israel and how it affects on the explanation that I'm telling you not to spend money in Israel. Well, every person that is interested in Israel, of course, know Bibi Netanyahu, which was the prime minister of Israel, yes? So the question is, why Bibi Netanyahu is not today the prime minister of Israel? First of all, in general, I myself do not read newspapers, not watch any TV or any new TV show. The reason that I do not do it is because the media in Israel is playing a major role in the controlling of the tyranny regime that control the citizens of Israel. What does it mean? It means that the media is not telling the public the truth, or even if we disagree what is truth and what is not, regime, and so citizens will not make a revolution. So if you would like to have a revolution, non-legal of course, when I say non-legal, it is like the French Revolution. Many thousands, millions of citizens started to protest against the French government or dictators and made a revolution, yes? So if the media is not cooperating and blocking the citizens to have a revolution, then there will be no revolution, because what make a revolution is the glue that is holding or tightening many citizens to act against one entity. So if the media is cooperating and blocking information, of course, revolution will not happen. So the question is, what is the relevant to Bibi Netanyahu and not to invest money in Israel? The answer is very simple. What you see in my book, the Israeli legal system as a crime organization. Well, I will not repeat it immediately now. I will not explain it because I had a very nice video. I will show you it. I will show it to you briefly. Okay, this is my video regarding my book. I also have many Israeli or Hebrew videos. In this book, I show you the essence of my book, that the president of the Israeli Supreme Court was sitting in her own case, of course, according in contradiction to the natural laws. Now, the media in Israel is blocking the information from the public. What do I mean? Israel is a democratic state, yes, of course, but on the surface, it is a democratic state. But democratic state is that where the media is free and giving the information for the public to know the truth, or if we agree what is the truth, so the media should publish or advertise a very important case in Israel, and then the civilians and the citizens should decide if it is true or not. Now, you say maybe, well, it is your book, nobody published it, it is a bad book, so you are angry on the media. Well, I will explain you why it is not the case. If you view this video, of course, part 1, the book Armageddon and the Beast, then you will be convinced that with the notary and apostille documents, my case really happened. Now, what happens is, if you contact the media in Israel, they don't publish it. Why they don't publish it? They don't publish it because they don't want to kill the cow. What do I mean? The meaning is that the media in Israel is not looking to tell the truth or to deliver information to the public. What they are doing is like this. If they advertise my book, then they must kill the cow. The cow is the Israel. Because the media enjoy the corruption, because they blackmail the government, the politicians, and the judges and the legal system. So there is a nutritional, okay, it is from side to side, a hand washing a hand. The media, the legal system, which includes the general attorney, the Supreme Court, all the court legal systems, and the politicians. So you have a triangle. Media, politicals, and the legal system. Now I will explain directly how it works. For an example, ידיעות אחרונות, I'm not talking especially on ידיעות אחרונות, I'm talking in general on the media, but I'm giving an example. Okay, just a second, please. Okay, this is my book in Israel. Allegedly, everything that I say is allegedly, because maybe sometimes I don't give an accurate information, and because I don't know everything. Of course, some part of my opinion is estimation and not mathematical analyze. This is my book, okay? Now, this website is called Ivrit in Hebrew, yes? And according to what I know, this website is owned or controlled by Yediot Aharonot, which is the main, biggest maybe media in Israel. Now, can I ask a fair question? Does Yediot Aharonot, the newspaper, don't know the existence of this book? Well, of course they know, or they should know. So they don't talk about this information that in my book. Now, I will not talk about ידיעות אחרונות in specific, but I will talk in general because I don't want someone to sue me in court. Now, the media has interests. For an example, if one of the owners with a corruption case or something like that, when he needs the court, he will not talk badly in his newspaper. He will talk nicely and make articles about how the legal system is good and something like that. Now, when he wants to attack the legal system, then he uses his newspaper to attack the legal system. When he wants to flatter, he will flatter. So the newspaper is a tool to get and to have, and not a tool to tell you the truth. Okay, so now we will talk about Bibi Netanyahu and how it explains you not to invest money in Israel. Okay, first of all, I said I don't read news, I don't watch TV. The information I get is mainly from Facebook for a person that I think they are related to my opinions, and everybody that is not related to my opinions, I block him or delete him because I don't want the shit that the media wants to enter my brain to wash my brain. Okay, so first of all, in general, I belong to the left hand of the political side. It means I am Yemeni, but I don't vote to the left side. I voted Zelika, which is a professor for economy, something like that, because I think he wants to improve Israel, and the rest of the politicians don't care about Israel. So Zelika don't know me, I don't know him, I never met him, and I am not having any commercial for Zelika. Okay, I will explain how I analyze the situation, why not to spend money in Israel. Bibi Netanyahu was a prime minister for approximately the last 12 years in Israel. Now, the legal system is controlled by the Supreme Court. The president of the Israeli Supreme Court is called Esther Hayut. You saw her in my book at the start of this video. Now, she is a puppet. A puppet of whom? Allegedly, I say, the puppet of Aharon Barak, which was former and ex-president of the Israeli Supreme Court. He developed a revolution that judges changed the laws in Israel, and there is no real democratic that the legal system judge according to laws. Politicians are making the laws, and the police enforce the law. Okay, it doesn't exist in Israel. What happened in Israel is like this: the legal system, the general attorney in Israel, as ridiculous as it sounds, control, and he is ahead of two parties. Part one is the attorney, and the second part is the defense. So let's give an example about Bibi Netanyahu situation. If the general attorney that had the claim against Bibi Netanyahu was Mandelblit.
Sponsor is Two Cut Butcher Knives.
Mandelblit is the head of the attorney, yes? So he advises the attorneys how to manage or how to attack the defense of Bibi Netanyahu. The answer is, who is defending Bibi Netanyahu? Okay, as I know, the Israeli institutions don't defend Bibi Netanyahu, and he hired private lawyers. Okay, but let's take another situation. Let's say that Bibi Netanyahu is a prime minister and a public worker, okay, and he needs to get the protection from the state. So Mandelblit, the general attorney in Israel, also advises the attorneys to attack Bibi Netanyahu, and also advises the defense how to defend Bibi Netanyahu. So of course it is a really ridiculous situation. This is the corruption. The corruption is because there is no democratic in Israel under the surface. Everything is a show. Okay, now what is going like this? According to my interpretation, I don't have any clue, of course. Allegedly, what happened is the Bibi Netanyahu case was making many trouble to the attorneys in Israel. Many witnesses they brought to attack Bibi Netanyahu make damage, and the case was opposite. They did not found severe corruption in Bibi Netanyahu so far. Yes, the case is not ended. So what happened? Allegedly, I don't know if it is true or not, Mandelblit went to talk to, it's not ended. So what happened? Allegedly, I don't know if it is true or not, Mandelblit went to talk to Aaron Barak, the head of the regime, of the legal system, and told him, listen, please go to Bibi Netanyahu and try to settle down this case to close the case. Now, it was not success according to what I know, because Bibi Netanyahu is not surrendering. Now I will explain how people do surrender in Israel. Let's say I'm a normal citizen and by mistake I was standing nearby someone that murdered. Okay, so the attorney general take me to court and say that I killed the person. Now I know I did not kill the person, of course. I by mistake was walking there. What they do, they blackmail the person and tell him, listen, if you don't admit, we take you to court. In court, your percentage and a successful option to get out of this accusation is very, very slow. They don't tell you that they control the judges. So your chance to be non-guilty in Israel is maybe 0.5%. It means that 99.5 in Israel are condemned to be criminal if they go to court. So the attorney general listen, tell you, let's make a bargain, let's make a deal. You admit in several matters, and we will not take you to court. So they try to do it to Bibi Netanyahu, that Bibi Netanyahu will admit that he is corrupt. Sorry. Then Bibi will not be able to be chosen to be prime minister again. Okay, so Bibi Netanyahu did not agree. Then the court is continuing. So the question is how Bibi Netanyahu was claimed in court. The answer is very simple. If Bibi Netanyahu is not guilty or not, it is not the matter. The matter is, for now, they did not find any severe corruption. What happened is this matter. The right hand of the political side in Israel wanted or was willing to change the legal system. Since the left hand, the political left hand, is controlled by the legal system. The judges in the Supreme Court and the attorneys in the institutions of Israel are left-handed. So they wanted not to change the corruption, and they chose Bibi Netanyahu to make a revolution. So they said, we will unite together to take Bibi Netanyahu and accuse him in criminals and corruption. Then the public in Israel will not choose Bibi Netanyahu, and this is what they did. So the left hand won this election. It is not so correct because Bennett, which is now the prime minister, is from the right hand. What happened is that the left hand had missing approximately 5 points to change the map. And then allegedly, Bennett betrayed his voters and joined the left hand in order to be a prime minister. So what is going in Israel is not democratic. Under the surface, it is corrupt. And if you want to make business in a corrupt state, your chance to get money, if you are not corrupt, of course, is small chances. Now, if you are a corrupt person and you do not belong to the elite of the Israeli people, then your chance to make money is very low because the general attorney will find on you something and will give you a clue. Don't make business in Israel. So this is how I took my book and showed you from reality that Israel is corrupted. Don't invest money in Israel. Now, if you want to contribute money to organizations in Israel, contact me. I will be your your loyal messenger. I will advise you truly. And for me, it doesn't matter if you want to contribute to the left hand or to the right hand. If I think it contradicts my conscience, I will tell you, sorry, I cannot help you. But you can trust me because the Israeli is so corrupted. Americans, Jewish from America, are making major mistakes. They contribute money to Israel, to the state, of course, not to the citizens. The state is so corrupted, your money is not going to good cause. Don't invest money in Israel and don't make business with the state of Israel and don't buy businesses in Israel. It is bad for you. Don't do it. My cell phone is 0523944942. Thank you very much.
Sponsor is Two Cut Butcher Knives.